Okay, good Erev Shabbos, everyone. It's wonderful to see everybody. Sponsored by Baruch Ian Lili Nishmas Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba Esther Bas Yona, Avram Ben Shmuel HaKohen by Yaakov Yumansky. With our type to the Rav, the Zoom family, Nachas from children and grandchildren, A.B. Spry, Nachas from children and grandchildren, Ed Salah from London, Joshua Rosenberg, a virtual Talmud, and we are sponsored by Shalom Fogel, Lili Nishmas, Yaakov Zev ben Yehuda Aryeh, Rivka bas Yaakov Yosef, Tzivya Miriam bas Gad, and Yosef ben Sion ben Yaakov Zev, that their neshama should have an aliyah. We are holding by Omer Rav Sheshes, as we welcome in here in the shul, Chaim Kramer, Rich Leonard, Michal Aram, Ruven Shanet, Jack Silverman, and Reb Halpert. Great to have all of you here. David Helfgott on Kol Lashon. We welcome in Saba. We welcome in Ben Zion Cohn, Aaron Swade, Baruch Ian, Irving Fishbaum, Yisrael Fisher, Mel Zachter, Yitzi Fuchs, Mo Kushner, Shelley Zeitlin, Dr. Guy, Nachman Chapler, Menachem Yamansky, Ruvain Pollack, Moshe Lehman, Yitzi Muller, Rabbi Kran, Zay Barbach, Naftali Jablin. Great to have everybody. So we are holding on 2 lines from the bottom by Omer Rav Sheshes. So now we're going to get some technical lingo. Omer Rav Sheshes, Yitol, he should take the Yiska, he should be Zoicha in it, V'yazik, he should possess it, V'yikne, he should acquire it, Kulan Lashon Matonehing. They are all valid languages of a gift by a Shchiv Meirah. So Shchiv Meirah, if he says, Yitol, let Chatzkel take it, or Yiska be Zoicha it, or possess it, or acquire it, those are all a good terminology of a gift. B'masnisa Tana, in a Braisa it says, Af Yachsin v'Yoris. Now Yachsin and Yoris are Aramaic terms for, Yachsin and Yoris are Aramaic terms for Yerusha. So if he says he should Yachsin inherit, or Yoris in Aramaic, B'roi l'Yorshay, with somebody that's in the line of Yerusha, let's say he says he has 5 sons, and he says this son should be Yachsin or this son should be Yoris, he gets it. Rabbi Yochanan ben Broike, and going according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Broike, that somebody who is in the line of inheritance, he could give him the entire inheritance. Ibayalhu. What about the following language? Yene bohen mao. He should benefit from them. Does he mean that it should be dinahave kulu matanakamer? Does he mean that it should be his, entirely his, so he should have full benefit? He just says, no, he should be able to use it sometimes, but not that he's giving it to him. What about Yeirah behen mahu? He should be seen in there. Yamid behen mahu, he should stand there. Yeshan behen mahu, he should recline there. Does he mean that he should be seen in it like an owner, stand in it like an owner, recline in it like an owner, or that he could rest there sometimes? So the Gemara says, Teku, Tishbi Yataritz, Kushis V'yibayis. Now, we know that if somebody gives away everything, and then he gets better, then his gift was void. What about if Chatzkel is on his deathbed, and he sells everything? Do we say, well, he sold it all because he thought he was dying, but if not, he wouldn't have left himself without all of his possessions? So Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav, Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rav, it depends. Very interesting. It depends. Im amad eino chayzer. Sometimes, if he gets better, he cannot back out of the sale. V'zimnin amar Rav Yehuda amar Rav im amad chayzer. If he gets better, he could back out of the sale. V'lei pligi. Hadi isnu lezuze beinayu. If he went ahead and he liquidated all of his possessions on his deathbed, and he has the money, so maybe he felt that that was easier for his children, that they should just divide the money. So there, if he gets better, then the sale is voided and he gets back his property. But if he went ahead and sold it to pay his debts, so then we say that even if he gets better, he can't back out of it. Now, nu shayla. What happens if you have a man on his deathbed that he admits, that villa that I have in the Hamptons, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's Ruvain Pollack's. Likely story, right? So Ruvain Pollack's. So at first glance, we will say, okay, a person admits something, he does baldin k'me'edim dummy, so why shouldn't he be believed? But sometimes a person does it to deflect wealth from his children. That the children shouldn't be known as being wealthy and get an ayin hara, or that many collectors will descend on them. And that's why he said it. So, what happens if this dying man admits that something was not his? Tashma. So here the Gemara tells us a fascinating story. The Isser Giyura, Isser was a convert. Havalei Tracer Alfei Zuze Bei Rava. He had 12,000 zuz by Rav. That's a large amount of money. Now, Rav Mori Bray, Isser had a son, but he wasn't the son to inherit him, because Isser was married to his mother, a Jewish woman, when he was a guy. And Ramari was conceived when he was a guy. And since a guy to a Jewish woman, he has no connection to Ramari. After, when Ramari was born, he, at that time already, he converted. But the critical time is at the time of conception. And at the time of conception, Issa was a guy. So, Ramari Bray, Ramari, his son, was Hirasai Shaloi B'Kedusha. He was conceived not in holiness, but he does the B'Kedusha. So therefore, Ramari cannot inherit Isser. Obey Ravham, and he was away in yeshiva, so he wasn't there to conveniently make a kinyan. Amar Rava, Rava says, it seems to be that I'm going to get these $12,000. Because a ger that dies, it has no yoshim. The one that has it gets it, right? First come, first serve. And it doesn't seem to be any way that it could be conveyed to Rav Mari. How is Rav Mari going to be able to get possession of this money? Ibi Yerusha, there's no Yerusha because his father was a guy when he was conceived. Ibi Yerusha, la ba Yerusha. Iba matana, if it's a gift, well, how could Isser on his deathbed give his son a gift who's hundreds of miles away in yeshiva? Iba matana, matna shchiv meirat. Now, he can't, the din of a bequest of a dying man is that the person gets it after he dies. Now that really is not possible, because once he dies, he can't give it away. But we said that the Matna Shchimera operates as Yerusha. And therefore it could only operate for somebody that has someone to be Yerush to. But he doesn't have any Yerush. They made it like Yerusha. Somebody that has an ear, could give it and create another ear. But he doesn't have an ear. So that's a big kiddush. He can't give a matna shchimera. But what's the problem? Let him transfer it to him. Iba Mashicha, so Ramari should come. It's heavy. $12,000 is heavy. Let him pull it and acquire it. Les Nugabe, he's not here. He's hundreds of miles away in yeshiva. Iba Chalipin, so he said, no problem. Let Gedalia give a handkerchief to Isser and say that he's acquiring for Reb Mari through a Kinyan Chalipin the property, the 12,000 zuz. You can't do that because you can't be kaina matbeya with Chalipin. A matbeya niknas b'Chalipin. That's a din in Chalipin that you can't do Chalipin with coins. Agav karka, so that's simple. Let him be mezaka some real estate. Remember we said that if I want to transfer 100 bowling balls to Rich, and he doesn't feel like doing Mashiach on 100 bowling balls, he could acquire a little piece of real estate, and agav the real estate get the metaltalin. So let Gedalia be zoiche with some karka from Isser, and agav the karka acquire all the money for Isser, for Ramari. Huh?
How's he going to acquire the karka?
What's the problem? With Chalipin, you could acquire karka, or with money.
Don't they have to be together to do that?
No. Doesn't have to be Oidon Olav. Now, agav karka, if it's agav karka, less layara. Isser didn't have any land. Iba Maimid Shloshten. Maisa is Rava says, I'm not going to be around to transfer it. I'm going to make myself scarce. Ishalachli, if they'll send me, you should say the money that is by you, I want to give to my son, to Reb Mari. Ishalachli, if they send for me, lo yazilna, I won't go. So the Gemara says, but if it's true that a person could admit that something is somebody else, so he should admit that the money is Reb Mari's. Maskor of Ikabraid Rabami Amai, v'lo de Isser, let Isser admit the Holland Zuzay de Reb Mari nino, that the money is Reb Mari's, and then v'likninu ba'idisa, and Reb Mari will get it with that admission. So that's exactly what happened. Adahachi, in the meantime, Nafik Odisa mibei Isser. Odisa went ahead, and there came out a report that he admitted that the 12,000 zuz is Reb Mari's. Ikbid Rava. Rava was makbid about that. Amar kamagmarei tainois alinshe. They're teaching, you're not supposed to be like an Urich Din. They're teaching ideas, omafsidali, and it cost it to me. Now, the bottom line though is that we see from over here that we say that the admission of a shchimera is accepted. That resolves our question.
How does that work? You're might on something that's not true. How does that work?
We don't know it's not true. We know it's not true.
In this case, we knew it wasn't true.
He admitted. He admitted that he got from Ramari. Where did I get the 12,000? We don't know where he got it from.
Does it have to be true?
Huh?
Does it have to be true?
It makes no difference. It makes no difference. If we could prove it's not true, it might be a difference. We couldn't prove it's not true. That's all.
I mean, if he really owned it, he wouldn't have this whole problem. It's his.
You'd have to prove it. Because everybody thought it was his. Now, we learned in the Mishnah, Shayir Karka Koshu. We said that if the man on his deathbed gives away everything and then he gets better, so he gets it back. But Shayir Karka Koshu, but if he leaves a little amount of Karka, so then even if he gets better, you see, he didn't give away the whole store, so then the gift remains a gift. Matanasa Kayem. So what does it mean, a Karka Koshu? Does it mean 4 amas? What's he going to do with 4 amas of karka? V'kama koshu, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Rav, karka k'dei parnasasa. Enough land that he could support himself with. So if he gave away everything but kept for himself enough land that he could support himself with, that means he did think that he might get better. So the gift is a gift even if he got better. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba Amar, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba says it doesn't have to be land. It could be even metaltal in kidei parnasasa. Could even be if he left enough money. Amar Rabbi Zeira, kama mechavnin shmeitza desabe. How exact are the teachings of the elders? Karka time, why if he leaves enough karka to support himself, the ikoi, because we see that he had in mind if he got better, because if it gets better, Samachalei could support himself with this karka. Metaltalei nami, so if he left himself, let's say, $100,000, ikoi samachal vayu. So therefore he was ascertaining maybe he'll get better, and therefore the gift is even if he gets better. So the Gemara says, it's nice that you say how exact it is, but it's not what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah doesn't say karka to be supported, it says karka kosher. The Mishnah doesn't say metaltal, and the Mishnah says karka. The Maskva of Yosef, you say that it's exacting. My kavanta. What's exacting? Manama metaltal, it could be money. Could be movables, but karka tanan. Mandi amakirei parnasasa, enough to support him, but koshu tanan. It says even a little bit. So the Gemara says, first of all, when it says karka, it doesn't only mean real estate. Amalei abai v'kolecha detoni karka dafka. When it says karka, does it mean only real estate? V'tanan hakosav kol nechosav le'avdai. Let's say Marshall has a slave, Tony, and he writes all of his property to Tony. If he writes all of his property to Tony, so Tony is included, so Tony goes free and he gets all the property. Yatsa ben Chayr. But Shayir Karka Koshu, he says, look, I'm giving away all my karka except for a little bit. Lo Yatsa ben Chayr. Because maybe that little bit was referring to Tony. He only viewed Tony as a little bit. And then Tony doesn't go free. If Tony doesn't go free, he doesn't get anything else. Because Kol Masha Kana Evid Kana Rabbi. Shimon Aimer Lo Elamu Ben Chayrin, he would go free at Shiyam Kol Nichsai Nesun Leplayni Abdi, Chutz Me Echad Miriba Sheben. Except for 1/10,000th. Because maybe he doesn't consider Tony to be worth even 1/10,000th. Now, what if he says that he's giving away everything except Amar Abdimir Bar Yosef, Amar Rabbi Lazar, also metaltal and shear 8-11. that if Marshall says, I'm giving everything away except for a certain movable, so that also includes, he doesn't go free, because maybe the movable is the Eved, and therefore he was keeping the Eved for himself, and once he keeps the Eved for himself, he keeps everything for himself, because Kol Masha Kana Eved Kana Rabba. So the Gemara was bringing a raya over here, that even though it said Karka, it includes Metaltalin too. So don't be so upset that it says over here that if he gives away everything except for enough Karka to be supported, it also includes enough Metaltalin to be supported, because we see that when it says Karka, it also includes Metaltalin.